guys, it's Jasmine. I've actually already recorded this and it was pretty good, but my camera just stopped. It didn't work. So here I am again, recording for you something that's really important to me, and that is dealing with depression and anxiety, fear, sadness. It's my hope that through this we can kind of all come together and say, hey, this is something that's really happening and we're gonna figure out how to get through it, and not only just get through it but like conquer it. Wouldn't that be awesome if you just didn't have to deal with it anymore? I would love that so much, to just feel like normal, I guess. I don't know. But let me just explain it a little bit to you. So to me, my anxiety and depression is like this big black hole. It's like a tornado, and it's like loud, and it's like I can't hear anything that's real. All I can hear is every bad thought that I've ever thought about myself. Just this horrible choir of you are not good enough, or this world is a dark and scary place that you should be fearful of. And I felt like that ever since I was a little kid. It's only been like probably within the last year or so that it's really gotten bad. It's honestly mainly gotten worse since I've gotten married 8 months ago. 8 months tomorrow, actually. And so being a newlywed is amazing, and it's also really, really hard. You're just adjusting and learning who you are, and it's like a great journey, but it's also like, at least for me, like who I was single and who I am married, and trying to figure that out. And it definitely is this new place that you really have to find where you fit. And not only that, we decided, hey, let's have a fixer-upper. Our house is definitely a fixer-upper. We only paid like $60,000 for the house or something like that. And to me that's still a lot of money, but to a lot of people it's probably not too bad. But we didn't really realize like all that goes into getting a fixer-upper house. If something breaks, you have to fix it. It's not anybody else's responsibility. So when there are critters coming into the house and you don't know what to do, like you have to figure it out. When the plumbing doesn't work, when you have a leak and your water bill goes up substantially, when your air conditioning breaks and it's the middle of Texas heat, summer, and trying to just make it work. And so that's been, a bit of a stressful thing, like it's all in your hands, like that feeling like if this succeeds or if this fails, it's completely up to you. Another thing that will probably be in a lot more videos is that, my husband came with a 2-for-1 deal, which is his mom. And his mom has dementia, a type of dementia. It's called primary progressive aphasia, and it's like forgetting what words mean or how to speak. And it just has created a lot of paranoia and some not so fun stuff. But it's also made me feel a lot like a hostage in my own house, I guess. My mother-in-law, in this stage of her brain, doesn't like me at all. I basically don't really speak when she's around, mainly because I've been accused of like so many horrible things, mostly just like stealing her stuff, which I would never do that. But she can't find a lot of her stuff because people who have like Alzheimer's or dementia, they tend to hide their stuff and then can't find where they hid it. And so, that's a thing. And so just feeling like really, really hated and like I can't do anything right. And everything that I say or do is going to be twisted into something horrible. And so I try to just honestly not even exist. And so, she lives with us. So it's me trying to be as quiet and as invisible as possible all the time. And that really has grated on me because it's made me feel like I'm not a human, and so that's really, really hard for me. And I already have like just the most horrible self-esteem anyways. That's always been a thing. Like I used to say like, oh, like I am God's joke. Like he looks down and says, haha, like that girl has to go through her whole life looking that way. And I know that that's just such a horrible thought, and I mostly don't believe that anymore. That's not God's character. But I get into this depression or I get into this anxiety, and there's a lot that happens in my brain, I guess, that it's like a black hole and nothing that's real it makes any sense to me, if that makes any sense. But there are some ways that I'm learning how to cope with it, and hopefully one day we'll be able to thrive in it, not in it, but away from it, because I don't want to deal with this my whole entire life. If this is something that I have to carry my whole life, then I'll do it. But I'm going to do it solely so that I can help other people. There's my husband. I love him. So here are some ways that I have learned how to kind of cope with it. Okay, so one of the ways that I have learned is to just get up. And go outside. Any kind of change in environment really helps. It really, really helps. And so I'll just go outside and take a walk. Vitamin D is really important. Right now there's not really too much sun going on because, we're changing the seasons, but I have a severe decrease in my vitamin D. Okay, so another thing is getting someone to talk with. And talking with your friends is fine, but if you find somebody who's a little bit older than you, who has gone through the things that you're struggling with and is able to now thrive in their life, it's really good to talk to those types of people. I have somebody who is from my church who is a little bit older than me, and my pastor is actually the one who recommended that I talk with her. And honestly, it's been so helpful for me. She really is like a godsend. She just understands where I'm coming from, and we're kind of like the same person almost, and we just deal with things like really similarly, and she's able to just sit there and listen without judgment and be like, okay, how are you doing? Like really truly invested in who I am and what I have to say and how I feel. And she doesn't try to make me feel like I'm crazy or that something is wrong, and that's something that I want to stress. Like, I'm a Christian and I love Jesus. I have a shirt right here. It says because Jesus, yeah. So I'm repping that Jesus. But if you are a Christian and you love Jesus and you're dealing with sadness or depression or anxiety or all of them, it doesn't mean that something is wrong with your faith or with your walk with God, or that God hates you. There are a lot of people in the church who want to say, oh, well, this is probably because of some sin in your life. And that's not always the truth. Like, I have been really active in my church, and it's not just this facade. Like, I really want to help people, and I really love Jesus, and I want to serve him, and I want to serve his people and do good in the world. And I've taught 8th grade small group. I've done prison ministry. I've been a camp counselor. Like, I've done those things. And even when I felt closest to God, when I'm at home, I'm reading my Bible, like, there's still the sadness sometimes. There really is still the sadness. And it may honestly just be something that is like a medical thing in me. I have hypothyroidism, which is known to cause depression in people. Also, recently, my doctor, she ordered a full blood panel on me, and one of the things that was on there, it said, I think, RDW, and it basically, I think, measures the width of your red blood cells. And if they're all varying widths, then it could be an indicator that you struggle with depression. So it was like this black and white thing on this piece of paper that was telling me that there's actually something that could be causing depression in my body. And it was kind of like this vindication, like, it's not all in my head, I'm not just crazy. And that's always a really great feeling to have. But it's also just the sobering, like, okay, this is really something that I have to live with for right now. And so that brings me back to another thing that I use to get through the day, and that is to do something that will help you feel accomplishment. It could be something as simple as getting up and, like, washing the dishes or going for a drive. Because honestly, in those moments when you feel depressed, in those moments when you feel anxious, those are the last things that you want to do. And so if I feel like I've gotten up and I'm washing dishes and I've washed all the dishes, I can go back and be like, hey, like, I actually accomplished something for today. Like, that's an amazing feeling, y'all. And the same thing with, like, if I go for a drive, like, going for a drive is great because you're the one that's driving and you're the one that's in control. And there's so many times when I feel like I'm not in control of something, and so to have that control because I'm driving, it's like, makes me feel more empowered. So, like, little things like that really do help me get through whatever anxiety that I'm feeling. My last and most important thing that I have to say in how I kind of fight this is with prayer. I am a Christian. I do love Jesus, if you haven't already gathered from what I've said earlier, but prayer is just so vital to me. I rarely want to pray when I'm feeling horrible, but it really is really important. And I'm so blessed in that my husband is like, have you prayed? Have you prayed? Have you prayed? Whenever I'm feeling really low. Because, like I've mentioned, like, to me, my depression or my anxiety, my panic attacks, my sadness is like a black hole. It's like a tornado of black, where everything is chaotic and loud, and I can't make any sense of what is happening or what is going on, and I just feel so overwhelmed by life. And prayer helps me feel like there's just this calmness that comes into the room that I need, and it kind of makes its way and pierces its way through this dark void that is, like, all around me. sometimes that's the only thing that works. Sometimes my fear or my anxiety is just so bad that is the only thing that works. And I thank God for that. I really truly do, that I can pray and that God hears me. But yeah, so that is my anxiety story. That is where I'm at. I can't say that I've defeated it. I can't say that it's gone and done with, and you're never gonna have depression or anxiety again if you do any of these things. That's not the truth. Like, you're still gonna have to walk through it, and you might still have to carry it for your whole life. And I would pray that you wouldn't have to, but I'm still carrying it, and if I can carry it and you can carry it and we can help each other, then maybe the burden won't be so heavy. And that's my hope. So have an amazing day and be blessed, and I love you, and I can't wait to talk to you guys again